Hi, this is AJ, and the show is AJ's Take on It. I apologize to my small viewers, that small amount of viewers, that it took me here Thursday before I made and put out my video, but I'll give you my explanation and you'll understand why. So it's been quite a long, difficult 30 days, and before I even say that, I grew up and was really learned that it's not always the best thing to put out all of your business in public, and you actually become more dependent upon other people and their thoughts and their opinions when you're regularly trying to get sympathy from other people, which is oftentimes why we share many things. Although those things can be disguised very cleverly by our clever minds, and we just want to put a nice label on it and say, well, I'm just venting, or I'm sharing, or I'm getting it off my chest. But the truth is that we're feeding a certain part of us that's not always the best part of us. And you might discover that if you do some long searching within to see the motivations and do a little bit of research on that type of stuff. But of course, that really wasn't the purpose of this video. But that is something that's about personal development, which I always recommend people do some research about personal development. Learn about you first and foremost. Discover who you are. So again, that being something that one of the themes that I talk about a lot, personal development, I never chose, or I took the advice, I should say, to not always share every part of my life with everybody, and feel obligated always to share those things. Now that I'm a public figure making videos on YouTube and on Facebook and any other place that I'll put it out on, I sort of am choosing now to make more public my life. I'm not going to say that I'm going to say everything that comes to mind, not every single solitary movement I make or situation that happens, but I'm going to share with you this now, that about 30 days ago, almost 30 days ago, my mom ate some food at a restaurant, and after she took a bite of this food, she didn't feel right, and the next day she really didn't feel good and developed a fever. So I can't remember how many days it actually was that she was having this fever. And so my family, we always handle things usually with holistically and natural stuff of the earth, and trying to solve what we can. We try to not always grab an aspirin when we can choose something else that might be a good substitute for those things, or even endure it if it's at all possible. But that doesn't mean we hate medicine, but we know that there are plenty of things that are natural without all tons of side effects that can help. So my mother was attempting to go that route and address the fever, and finally the fever broke after different things we did, and but still she has been weak all this time. So come Sunday, we're really looking at everything and assessing it, and we're going, okay, we don't think that this is going to be, maybe this is going to require a little bit more. So we suggested to her, we really suggest have it checked out. Who knows if it's just a fever or who knows what, because we can't see it. I go, why don't we just get at least a test? If you get a test, then we can know for sure. So we called up, and they ended up telling us you're gonna have to go into the emergency to be seen in the shortest period of time. So Monday morning we went to the emergency room, and I spent all day in the emergency room with my mom, and it was quite a long day. And again, I didn't say anything to anybody. I didn't want to be complaining or begging for sympathy or asking for sympathy. That's just something that I've learned to handle within myself most of my life. So that's how I chose to do it. And of course, knowing that got to keep on doing other things that are a must. While my sister was watching my mom, I went out to River Park in Fresno and filmed some stuff out there, and just took that opportunity to get amongst the salsa community and talk about salsa. So that's the reason why really I've delayed in making this official video. I wanted, of course, when I do my YouTube stuff, I want to take a little more time to put out the content for you guys. And I still haven't installed some software on my computer, so I'm using my phone to record and then upload this video to YouTube and go from there. So I'm sitting in my car at Walgreens here. Got something real quick at Walgreens, and I'm sharing with you the dealings of the day and what's been going on. So what else? Then too, while today's Thursday, so yesterday I found out that a good friend of mine that I've known for more than 20 years passed away, and he was fighting in the hospital with pneumonia. His name was James Lyon, and this was quite a wonderful, interesting character. This gentleman spent many years in the entertainment business, and brought a lot of joy to a lot of people. Had a lot of talent. Played the piano, sang, played in Vegas. He did a lot of stuff and opened for different people. And he may not have been as big as some of the big time celebrities, but in Fresno, a lot of people knew who James Lyon was. And I'm remembering some of the things, and I know it's not going to all come back to me at this moment, but I wanted to take a moment just to say a few words of my memories of this man. When I first met Jimmy Lyons, a friend of mine, Brian Richardson, who we were at the time, both of us, heavy into singing karaoke. Yeah, I was once a karaoke whore. And so back in the day when we were doing all that, and then we were considering doing more than just singing karaoke, we heard about James Lyon and that he had done a lot of different stuff. And so we didn't know what we could gain, but we figured somebody who's got experience and has done some stuff in life could probably give us some good advice. So we found out he was hanging out, and I cannot remember right now. Somebody will probably post, or maybe I'll post later, what the name of the location was, but on Fig Garden, right at Herndon and on Palm and Herndon, there was this restaurant there that had some outdoor seating also, and I found out that I knew him as Jimmy. So James was out there hanging out, and we went out to meet him, and we got to talk some and got to see him in amongst people and how he interacted. And of course, the first thing I noticed was well-dressed, and a lot of people have already said that. If you read a lot of the comments on Facebook about people describing James Lyon, impeccable dresser, great manners. He's from the South, Tennessee, and just quite a gentleman. And again, he was just a wonderful person and had a lot of talent. And after I met him, I ended up talking to him about some of the stuff I wanted to do. And we had some conversations. We met there a couple of more times at that same location. And then he graciously decided to give me more time, and he invited me to his house for what I would call like mentoring. And it was more than mentoring for me, because I got to spend one-on-one time listening to this man tell me stories. Now, Jimmy was quite an amazing storyteller, and I love this about him. And he could tell a story, and I wish the technology were such that I could plug something into my brain and take it out and play for you that time that I had with him in his house. And at the time, he was living near Shields, might have been First or Fresno, I can't remember which one it was. And he had a small apartment. And then walking into this third floor, I think it was a third floor, second or third floor apartment. It was a one-bedroom apartment, small. But as soon as you walk in, everything was perfect in its place, meticulous. Again, the man had such great taste and took a tiny little apartment and made it beautiful. And plates, everything. I mean, he just had such good taste. And I remember sitting down and talking with him those evenings that I got to spend. It was probably at least a minimum of 6 times that I met with him, and he spoke, and he just told me about things that went on and what happened, and about performing, and just the whole ins and outs of the business of performance. And although I didn't get into the performing business, I look at that window into that world, and I was so in awe of what he was telling me. And I really, really appreciate that special time that I had with him. And I don't think many people get that. But I was blessed to have had that time with him. And, it's odd. I guess all the things that are going on right now in my life, I probably would have been sobbing and crying like a baby. And it'll probably hit me sometime later. But having my mom in the situation, and now she's home. We brought her home yesterday, last night. And, we're settling her back in, and it's still a process. So all these things have kind of put things on pause for me, so that I'm not having what I would call my normal reaction, because this man was dear to me, and he is one of the few men, one of maybe 3 or 4 people that I would call a surrogate father, because my father was never around. So blessed was I to have him amongst the group of people that I would call dad, and also a mentor. So I want to share one more thing, is that, at least about James, one of my favorite quotes that he didn't probably originate, but he shared with me, and I just loved the way he said it. And he said, "It doesn't happen overnight, but when it happens, it's overnight." And he said, there are people who've been in the business for 30, 40 years, and then suddenly, overnight, after 30, 40 years, bam, it hits, and now they're a success. So I appreciate that. That holds weight, not just in the music business or in the music industry, but in anything in life. When you're plugging away at some stuff, it may take some time. And that overnight sensation that they talk about really wasn't an overnight sensation. It took a lot of time and energy and persistence for it to happen. And maybe that's what this show will be labeled. Not maybe, I'm going to label that show about persistence and what I learned from Jimmy Lyons, James, as many people knew him. I might, at another point, share some more things that I remember about him, but I thought I'd share that right now. So I know that I'm way beyond my normal amount of time that I like to take. It's like 15 minutes, but he's going to be definitely missed by so many people have written so many beautiful things about him in Fresno. And again, I just wish that more of you could have known him closer and got to do some things with him and hang out with him that way. Not a ton of people did get to do that, but amongst those people, I'm sure they felt very special and very touched by having him in their lives. So I'll end today's show and say thank you again for at least indulging me as I speak about these things and understand why I haven't really put out any new content. But I guess the takeaway from this episode will certainly be keep persevering. If you're doing something like myself, if you're endeavoring to start a new business or start a new venture, and you're on that road, it's going to take time. It doesn't happen overnight. Sometimes your friends can help out by like watching the video and liking and subscribing. And I'll ask you guys that again. Please, in the section down below, there's a thumbs up. Click that thumbs up. Comment in the comment section. Let me know what you guys are thinking about these things. I'd really appreciate it. That would help out. These views help. Again, I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr. That information's in the section below, in the more section. So if you can, find me there. Find me on Twitter. Say something to me. Add me. The more you do these things, you'll help out anybody who is doing something similar to myself and putting out videos. Oh, one more thing. Next week on Wednesday, the 28th, I'll be doing a live salsa class. It's going to be in front of the Maya Theater, and it should be a good time. And I'll be having that filmed, put on Facebook Live, so you'll find it there. I may just video it too and throw some clips up for one of the future shows so you guys can see how it went. And I'd appreciate you guys showing up. If you're in Fresno, please come out. That would really help us out a lot, and showing up for the class. And we'll have a good time and see what we can do within the allotted time that we're given. But that might be one of the last outdoor events we're going to have. It's not going to be the one we've had normally at River Park, but again at the Maya Theater in River Park near Fresno State. So again, please like, subscribe, keep me in your prayers, pray for Jimmy Lyon's family, and keep them in your prayers. And I'm repeating myself, but again, thank you again for tuning in, and till my next episode, please be well.